Hi and welcome back to my channel. This week's Paint With Me, we're going to continue with my watercolor kits that are available in my Etsy shop. Just to recap, they come with the watercolor dots, and obviously these are used because I've been using them with the Paint With Me's, but they come all wrapped up in a bow, and then you've got your watercolor dots, and you've got 5 prints with the houses, a practice page, and then these are the 2 that I have done so far with the Paint With Me. So you can go back and watch those videos if you want to. I'll be doing these 2 in the future, but today I'm going to be doing this house. I love this house. Makes me think that there is a fairy inside this house, and that maybe they have baked some baked goods, and the smell or the seasonings are coming up and out of the house, or a fairy was inside and maybe waved her magic wand and her pixie dust is coming up and out of the fairy house. So anyway, obviously you can use your imagination with that, but lots of fun. So this is the one that I'm going to be working with. The paint kits also include a water brush. I send this along as well so that you have everything that you need in the kit to get started. So with the paint brushes, you just open them up at the top here, and then you fill this with water. I put it under the tap, and then just fill it with some water, and then you put the cap back on, or put the brush head back on, and then there is a cap as well to keep your brush protected. And just to let you know, it says push right here. I don't know if you can even see that on the video, but it says push, and that's basically just reminding yourself to squeeze a little bit, and then that water will come out. I would recommend that you have a paper towel on hand, because that is how you're going to clean your brush. And you can see I had some from previous. So just by running it back and forth, then you can clean your brush. You can also use a sponge for this as well, so that's another option. To activate your water dots, and by the way, I do have some instructions on the back. Step 1 is to tape down your 5x7. We're going to do that, and then we're going to activate the paint dots by adding a drop of water, and that's why I have a little jar of water. So let's start by taping this down, and I'm just going to speed up the video while I tape this down. I use washi tape. You can use painter's tape, but washi tape works just fine. Okay, so now I have that all taped down, and I usually don't go into the outside a whole lot. You can add a background color, and then if you do that, you are going to have a border a nice clean border from the washi tape. But I'm just going to paint the house itself, and I'm going to activate my paint dots. By doing so, you can do it 2 ways. You can take your water brush, and as you squeeze it, it will add some water that way. But I like using the eyedropper. It's just faster, to be honest, but you can just add a drop of water to each color with the eyedropper, and then that activates the color for you. You can use this practice sheet as a palette, or if maybe you want to mix some colors, but you can definitely, get everything that you need right here on the watercolor dots as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this house. So I would really like to kind of play off of these houses that I did before. I realized that I used purple as the base for both of them, so I want to kind of mix this one up a little bit, and I'm going to go with the lunar and make this a blue house. So the lunar is right here. Get plenty of it on my brush, And then I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to the house here. Now I'm going to go around these little pieces that I have drawn out, and let me go ahead and zoom in. So if I didn't say, I illustrated all of these in Inktober 2 years ago for the fairy houses, and then last year I did the dream catchers. So when I illustrated this, I kept these little blocks here, and I want them to remain white. So I'm going to go around them just quickly. And you can definitely take your time. And you can see that this lunar, it is a blue, but it's gray. It's very gray as well. So it's a bluish gray color. And if you want a little bit more water, you just give your paintbrush a little squeeze. And then you just push that water around. And the paint is going to stay wherever the water is, wherever you've put that water. So it's going to stay within that. There's two ways that you can apply your watercolor. There is a wet on wet technique, and there's a wet on dry. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of doing both. If you squeeze, then you're going to put some water down, and then when you add that paint, it's going to just fill in where you put that water. If I grab the paint and I apply it to a place that I haven't put water down, that is the dry on dry. If you want more details about that, I did do a video that kind of goes in, well, it does go into more specifics about that. So I will make sure that I link it so that you can go watch that if you want to. But that kind of explains the wet on wet and the dry, or the wet on dry as well, just so that if you want, you know, more detail about that, you can definitely get it. My watercolor journal series was I think a big hit. I mean, there were a lot of people that watched it and were interested in how to, you know, do a watercolor journal. So if you're interested in that, you can go check it out. I think I almost have all of the blue down. So this basically was covering the area of all of the shingles on the side of the house, or not shingles, siding, all the siding on this side of the house, and then next we'll do the top. I like to think that this house maybe like a lot of metal, or like steampunk kind of thing. And if you want to continue that route, you know, you can definitely stick to the moon glow, the moon glow, the lunar, and colors like that. But I'm gonna do a little pop of the of color on this door with the tea rose. So I'm gonna grab some of that. Not to say that steampunk doesn't have a lot of color, but it usually just stays in that cool family. You know what, and I think I might patch this up. So I'm going to do this section right here, pink. And then I'm going to grab the Foxgrove and do another section. Okay. And then let's see, let's do the Sunburst Yellow. And I'm going to take some of that orange off. Okay, and then let's do this willow. And I'm going to add the willow as some of the greenery. All right, and there's one more section. I think I'm going to do that with the Sprightly. Okay. All right. Awesome. I love that. The roof I'm going to do with the Sprightly as well, but these different sections I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do them in different colors. So let's start with the Sprightly along the roof here, and I'm going into these places. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that. So I'm going in all of these little places and leaving the illustration that I drew on the roof there. So just kind of making my way through, and this paintbrush does a great job of giving you like a good tip to work with so that you can get into all of those little places with your brush. Okay, I think I'm going to put a little bit more here. All right, so then I have that purple there, and to balance it off, because if you have been watching, you know I like to balance things off, I'm going to do this trim around this window also in the Sprightly purple. I am using Daniel Smith watercolors. I have renamed them to go along with the theme, but if you want the specifics, I put them on on the Etsy descriptions so that you can, you know, find out what the true names are. But they are Daniel Smith watercolor. I'm going to do this one up here. And I'm a big fan of purple, so you can probably tell that with my paintings that I've done with these houses. Okay. All right, so that's that one. And then I want to go into these other spaces on the roof with the moon glow. And I want them to kind of look like they're metal. So I'm not going very dark, kind of keeping it light. Okay, and then I'm going to continue that moon glow up here. Through the chimney stack. Okay. And then I have this trim that's going around the roof, right? The trim. I guess you could call it shingles, but there's not really like shingles going across the top of the roof, but I'm going to do those with the Foxgrove. And go back over this. Don't be afraid to go back and add a little bit more color if you feel like it's lighter than what you would like it to be. And I'm going to use the Moon Glow and go up here to those. Okay, and then I have these wooden pieces along these different sides, and I'm going to do them in the hazelnut and make them like a traditional, you know, wood pieces or wooden pieces. And here and here. And you know what? I'm just going to keep going. Okay. I am going to do the trim on the door, the sprightly purple. And right in here. Okay, and the doorknob. All right. So the purple and the purple here and the doorknob. Okay. This little basket, Foxgrove, I'm going to go back over that. I've got some curtains back here, and I'm going to do those with the tea rose. Do some little pink curtains. I think that's probably it. And then I've got these wooden pieces over here, kind of like the place where they collect all the firewood. And I'm going to start with the sunburst, and I'm going to go over each of these with the yellow. And then I'm going to go back in with the hazelnut. And go around them. And if it bleeds a little bit, I'm okay with that. And what I mean by bleed is that this hazelnut color may bleed into the sunburst color, but I'm okay with that because it's the wood, and I don't mind that look at all. Okay, now that I did that though, I'm going to darken up this one at the bottom. And over here at the side. Maybe just darken up all of these wooden pieces. Okay, good deal. Let me go out a little bit. Okay, so now I've got this these pebbles down here at the bottom, and instead of making them like little pebbles, I'm going to go in with the sweet pea color. I changed my mind. I'm going to go in with the clover color, and I'm just going to add a few little dots here and there in little clusters. And I'm just dabbing a little bit of the paint into those little circles. Okay, and then I'm going to go with my gold, and I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to dab in with my gold into those little circles, so that these pebbles, some of them have a green color, but they have little splashes of gold throughout. Almost done. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I also want to take the gold and I want to add it to all of these little spaces that I left white. And this gold has a really nice shimmer to it, so my hope is that, you know, it would pick up that little shimmer in the light. It might be hard for you to see on the video, but I'll show you here in a few minutes. I can pick it up and show you. Okay, so there's that. And then just a couple shadowing things that I want to do. I want to go back into these pieces now that they have dried and give a little bit of a shadow. So I'm just going to go pretty much to the bottom. Left corner of each one. Just casting a shadow, and then they're going to get darker when they come down. So let me go back, cast a shadow. And this, I'm just layering the paint so that it has a little more interest. Same thing with these, the chimney stacks. I'm going to go in just on this inside a little bit. Just to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, lunar, same thing. I'm going to go underneath the shingles there from the roof, so it looks a little like it has, like it's casting a shadow there, and underneath the window, underneath this window, and this one. I think I'm going to do that board too, since that board's hanging out there. Give it a little shadow. A little bit more. Okay, good deal. I'm going to put a little over here. And that's just going to give it some dimension so it looks like it's, you know, tucked in there a little bit more. And then down at the bottom. Okay. All right. Last, I'm going to take that sunburst color and I'm going to add it to inside the windows, making it like it's really super bright inside the house. And everything should, that purple should be dry, so you don't have to worry about it bleeding in. And then I'm going to dab my yellow all the way through here. I'm just kind of pressing it up and down. No rhyme or reason, just kind of following the path. Okay, and then I'm going to get the gold and I'm going to go back over that and add gold shimmers to all of these little stars. Okay, and then I have these kind of steps that lead the way up to the house, and I'm going to paint those gold as well. Okay, and then I'm going to take off the tape. Okay, and there you go. You can really see that gold shimmer. I hope you can see it. but I definitely like this fairy gold. It just has a little bit of shimmer to it, and so it adds a little bit of interest there. So this one I had a lot of fun with the bright colors, and I love the door, how that turned out, and then this as well. But you know me, every time I take the tape off, I see something else that I want to improve. So I'm going to take that tea rose color. Hold on, let me make sure my brush is clean. Okay, I'm going to take that tea rose color and I'm going to add it throughout this pixie dust coming out in just little places. I just feel like it needs it. There's little circles that I have drawn, and you can use those little circles as a guide to where to put the paint. Okay, yes, I like that. It was just a little extra something that it needed. Okay, so then now I've got that little extra pink going up there, so hope you can see that okay. So there we go. All right, well, thank you so much for doing this paint with me. Again, if you're interested, I'll have the link below if you want to go pick up your own set of fairy houses that you can paint. But otherwise, I will be releasing a dream catchers as well this week, so be sure to catch that. I'm kind of doubling up so that I don't miss a month of paint with me. So now I have 3 houses completed, and I've got 2 more to do. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe, ring that bell so that you know when I will release the next video so that you can follow along. And until next time, bye!